this is going to have minimal impact, if any, pennies. We're talking about pennies, potentially.
Just pennies is what we're told, just pennies. The haves versus the have-nots. It is not just pennies, Madam Speaker. It's been whether people in my district get dinner at night, whether the farmers are ever competitive and can bring to harvest and compete on a global scale, Madam Speaker. It's not just pennies, and bureaucrats will make sure they will change the lives of the people in my district with this policy.
The Climate Commitment Act is on the backs of the lowest income people in our state, and they are hurting. They're not eating. We're trying to feed children in school because they don't have enough food. But we want to continue down this path because we think that we can change, and maybe we can change the climate and change the environment, and we're going to have some kind of utopia. But in the meantime, we're going to starve people to death.
Can I quote a couple of figures on gas throughout the United States? Maybe just one state, which is a state I'm considering to moving to when I retire.
You can proceed if it relates to the bill.
It relates to the bill because gas relates to this bill.
Please proceed.
In southern Utah, in beautiful St. George, gas prices today are $3.16 a gallon. We cannot fix this problem ourselves. This is a world problem. This is a federal problem. On the backs of Washingtonians, we are increasing the costs.
So $2.2 billion have been spent so far by our industries into this project. And what do we have to show for it? Extraordinarily difficult cost of living increases for every single Washingtonian. It's hit every person at the kitchen table. Madam Speaker, I urge that you join me in voting no on this policy. We're not ready to adopt it.
Madam Speaker, the cost of this program has been massively regressive on my community members, your community members, and so many. So much so that over 400,000 Washingtonians signed on to an initiative to the legislature to repeal this policy.
One of the comments made by a previous speaker mentioned that a side benefit of the carbon market was that it produces money. Madam Speaker, it doesn't produce money, it extracts money. The system in and of itself is not producing anything. It's simply removing money from individuals, from businesses all across our state and moving it somewhere else.
The only thing the CCA has done is grow government revenues on the backs of our people with crushing and oppressive taxes. Madam Speaker, this bill would make that problem even worse, where we have unelected bureaucrats creating agreements that we haven't seen with costs that we do not know about, where there is no cap on those costs. And Madam Speaker, this program, CCA, it's oppressive. People do not want it, and it has to end.
Madam Speaker, am I supposed to be happy if my bill went up $90 and we did linkage and now it's only up $80? Am I supposed to be happy about that?
If we link with California, our affordability crisis will get worse.
I want to respond to another comment made in this debate today about the robust ag economy. If robust means going broke and selling your farm due to overregulation, overtaxation, and increase in costs that this policy brings, then that's a robust ag economy, I guess. I think not.
I've been in business for over 50 years, from the agriculture production to the flying business, and I get this stuff. And we're just adding more out of the backs of our agriculture producers, our people that provide the jobs in this state, that make our state what it really is. This is bad policy, Madam Speaker.
It's the haves versus the have-nots. Those who do wonder about how to put food on the table versus those who will never wonder.
They're still flying in private jets. They're still doing the things they do. And the people, the very people in our districts that we are asking to bear this burden, Madam Speaker, their lives have changed. and it hasn't been for the better.
This is the way my constituents are being overburdened, especially in the rural parts of my district where people have to drive long distances, either to get to work, to get to shopping, to get to medical appointments. To do a variety of different things, they have to drive long distances. And the impact that it's already had on fuel leaves them very, very concerned that linking to a state that does not have a very good fiscal track record will leave them in worse condition than they are now. And it certainly doesn't alleviate the problems that they have right now. That's where our time should be focused, is on relieving, getting rid of the increased costs that they felt over the last year.
Madam Speaker, I'm asking you to vote no, because as you've heard, this scheme, as it exists even without this change, is causing hardship right now on the people of this state. And it's true, we know this. Madam Speaker, it's a sinking ship, the Climate Commitment Act, and this is a desperate measure to try to stop the sinking. Now, might it work? I don't know, Madam Speaker. Everything we've been told about this scheme so far has been wrong. But we can't run the risk of inflicting greater hardship on the people of this state, on the hope, on the faith that this long shot, last-ditch effort is going to make the failed system work. And Madam Speaker, as I've said before, and it bears repeating, over all of this desperate effort is Initiative 2117, an initiative to the legislature which has been qualified and certified and will repeal the Climate Commitment Act. It renders this desperate measure moot.
The Speaker has locked the roll call machine. Clerk will announce the record.
Madam Speaker, there are 57 yeas, 39 nays, 2 excused.
Having received a constitutional majority, engrossed second substitute Senate Bill 6058 as amended by the House is declared passed.